you feel it? Can you feel the excitement in the air? We got a Darby on our hands. RGV playing host to San Antonio here at HEB Park. Both teams looking for their fourth win on the campaign. I'm Bruce Silverman along with Ken Levicka. And Ken, this is a good matchup. We like this one.
We definitely do. Always good to have some Derby time. We were here at HEB Park last week to see RGV, a heartbreaking draw with LA Galaxy 2. And you look at San Antonio FC, they also coming off a draw against Tulsa. Two teams looking for something to prove tonight.
All right, so we're going to talk about Michael Salazar first and foremost, the target man for the Toros, the 26-year-old out of Belize.
5 goals this season for Salazar. He is so good on the ball. Look at him camp out in the box here. His anticipation, right foot, bam, right inside the far post. He is extremely talented. He had his best goal of the season last week against LA Galaxy 2. He was really, really solid on the ball, and he is a tough defend for San Antonio FC.
And when you take a look at the firepower for San Antonio FC, we're talking about Ever Guzman. He is out of Mexico, the all-time leading scorer for this FC squad.
4 goals in South Texas Derby's all-time leading scorer in that respect as well. Guzman has primarily been coming in as a substitute this season, but he is looking to jumpstart a San Antonio offense that's been stagnant. Only 14 goals this year. They have one of the worst conversion rates offensively in the USL, but this is an RGV team he has owned throughout the course of his career. This is a good matchup for him.
And he wears number 99, and if you're going to wear 99, you better be a scorer.
You find the net.
Kickoff coming up next on ESPN+.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. Customization is what we've always done. We have mustard, mayo, ketchup. It's all up to you.
When you customize your own burger, you can put your personality in it.
Manny's ketchup, no cheese. This is my Whataburger.
We customize orders 24 hours a day.
Everybody wants it just like they like it. When you can make it your own, that always enhances that experience for you.
They're just happy to do whatever makes you happy.
However you want it, I got you. Here at Whataburger, we make it just like you like it, whenever you like it.
Hola Bruce, bienvenido a Taquería Manu. ¿Taquería Manu? Mi nueva pasión ahora que estoy retirado. Desde que probé las carnes marinadas, mi tienda para tacos son fáciles y rapidísimos de hacer. A ver, dale, mira esto. Elige el sabor que quieras. ¡Híjole! ¡Qué rico! Provecho, Bruce. Gracias, hermano.
Carnes Marinadas, mi tienda de HEB, celebrando nuestra cultura, costumbres y pasión.
Welcome back to HEB Park, Edinburgh, Texas. Here we go. Time for us to take a look at what happened the last time these two teams took to the pitch. Draws for both of them, Ken.
Yeah, and so let's start with RGV, that 2-2 draw. Second time this year, LA Galaxy 2 at the death had an equalizing goal. So demoralizing for RGV. Foster and Salazar for RGV with the goals last week. Corte, who was in goal, being replaced tonight by Michael Nelson with 2 saves. He did struggle. Neither of us surprised by that change tonight for RGV. And then you look at San Antonio, 1-1. San Antonio has not scored more than 3 goals in a game at any point this season. That only happened once in a victory over Tacoma. Gomez had the goal. Cardone, an own goal in that one as well. So San Antonio really has struggled 8 shots on target, 1 able to find the net.
For both of the teams, basically, they got stung the last time
Yes.
out. Take a look at the lineups tonight. Start with the home team, and Coach Echeverry will send out Nelson, Donovan, Adams, Samuels, and Coronado in the back. Martinez, Hernandez, Cabrera in the middle. Foster and Salazar, who we've already spoken about, and Jesus Enriquez will join them up top.
Yeah, Foster, Salazar, Enriquez, 10 goals between them this season. And as we mentioned in the back, Michael Nelson getting the start in goal.
And for Darren Powell, they'll go with Cardone, as we just talked about. Hopefully will not give up an own goal. Lance Lang, the experienced left back. Yarrow, Akon, and Green. Barnby, Verano, LaHood, another experienced player, and Forbes, Guzman, and Gomez. Both of these teams with a tremendous amount of experience at the championship level. And that makes for a very, very entertaining match, we would hope. Michael Radchuk will be the man with the Barbasol, and you see him putting his headset on right now. So moments away from getting underway. If you look at this match, Ken, both teams looking to get on winning track.
Yes.
Both of these teams looking for their 4th win. Both of these teams trying to find their way to that at least 10 spot above the Mendoza line. Right now, RGV in 14th with 13 points, and San Antonio in 16th with 12. For me, you look at both of these lineups, there should be a lot more firepower. There should be a lot more goals involved because there is so much experience.
Yeah, you're exactly right. There should be a lot more firepower. RGV, you get the sense they're starting to get there a little bit. Malik Foster has really opened up the right side of that attack for RGV. For San Antonio, that ball just sticks, and they have an 11% conversion rate. You and I talked a lot about this last week because Gerson Echeverry, the head coach of RGV, had discussed it with us. Shots are great, but they don't mean anything. Shots on goal are what matter.
Right. Shots on target, I've been having a lot of conversations with a lot of football coaches lately about that. It almost seems like teams freeze up. When they get the opportunity, they get too cute. Talked about it for years and years. I would like to see rebounds as a statistic. You put balls on frame, yeah, the goalkeeper's job is to stop you.
Right.
But if you can't put it within the posts, you have no chance of scoring whatsoever.
Yep.
Sometimes they get punched out and they fall at the feet of someone and they just punch it home and you get a goal out of it and that's it. Cabrera will get us started. Wilmer Andres Cabrera, the 18-year-old out of Bogota, Colombia, came through the Dynamo Academy, also played high school at IMG in Florida. So right away you see Billy Forbes trying to assert his will. Billy Forbes, a guy who has played in San Antonio for a long, long time, going back to his days with the Scorpions.
Yeah, he is really one of the faces of soccer in San Antonio. The key thing to remember tonight, too, Bruce, is that while in the table they don't look particularly attractive, these two clubs, RGV is only 2 points back of that 10 spot, and San Antonio only 3 points off the pace for the 10 spot.
And we talked last week during the matchup that RGV had with Los Dos, that with a win, that I think that would have sprung them over the Mendoza line. So for this matchup, first of all, it's a derby, which we mentioned at the beginning, but you want to beat your rivals. And then there's a bigger prize because there's now 4 teams in Texas in championship.
And that is called, so this is the South Texas Derby, and that is called the Copa Tejas. That was actually put together by the fan groups of all 4 of the Texas-based USL squads. And at the end of the year, it's a cumulative head-to-head appearance calculation, and then they receive Copa Tejas. So kind of a cool thing to compete for within the USL, and you always love to see that, and that's part of the growth of this league as well. As it expands, you like to see these regional rivalries.
Ball goes out, heavy touch by RGV, and the throw coming in by Lance Lang. Very experienced left fullback. I feel like he's been playing in North America since sometime in the 80s.
Yeah, he is from Jamaica, and there are so many talented Jamaicans in the USL, as that is brought in by Cardone nicely. But You look at Lang on that one side from Jamaica. You also have Malik Foster, the Jamaican national for RGV. He was named to the 40-man preliminary squad for the Gold Cup coming up. There is that island has produced so much talent for this league, and it really is fascinating to see how many of the successful teams in the USL, really one of the cornerstones, are the Jamaican players that they have.
Jam Boys have the Reggae Boys from Jamaica as Lahoud gets his first touches. You talk about football IQ in the Sierra Leone native as Forbes is trying to decide where he wants to go. And he leads Lance Lang a little too far. Michael Lahoud is one of those guys where when you sit and you talk with him, it is so beyond a conversation about football. Played collegiately at Wake Forest, has represented his nation of Sierra Leone on the international stage. An incredible story in Michael Lahoud. Came to the United States at about 5 years old by himself. Was escaping war-torn nation and was on a flight from Sierra Leone to France. But I need to be fancy.
I know
about
you're
it.
cultured, Bruce.
Well, no, it's the way that Michael told me the story. And he was supposed to be on the plane with his uncle. And when they got to France, his uncle was nowhere to be found. And there was a flight attendant that knew that his next destination was supposed to be the United States and actually got him on that plane, which is the reason why he was able to get here. Raised in the United States, and like I said, educated at Wake Forest, played in MLS, played in the NASL, played last year with FC Cincinnati, and now here in San Antonio.
And it's a good, stable city and stable organization to be a part of as well. Lahoud's someone who has jumped around in his professional career. This San Antonio FC franchise is just a good place that is going to, and I know last season certainly didn't go as planned, but just 2 years removed from going to the Western Conference semifinals, this is a place with potential.
No, it absolutely is. And they make a change at goalkeeper. They had a goalkeeper a year ago who was just standing on his head in Restrepo, and now he is in a different destination. And now you got Lahoud knocking it out wide as Forbes will get his pocket picked. Little foot race as the ball will go back to Cardone.
And Cardone, no slouch in goal. He has 3 clean sheets this year. He has been very, very strong for San Antonio. So obviously, Restrepo, who 2 years ago was the goalkeeper of the year in the USL, he goes on to Austin. And you now have Cardone, who is manning the pipes, and he certainly is a good option. He is someone that is one of the better keepers, I would say, in the USL.
No, he really is, and that's what's fascinating when you look at these two teams and how they're struggling to find wins, despite the fact that they've got the goalkeeping as Lahoud sends it forward. And now a lot of real estate to work with was Gomez, and then that ball into the middle. Not much that could be done at the final end of that exchange. But you gotta like the way San Antonio is finding the space. RGV giving a lot of room to run.
Yeah, they absolutely are. From the middle of the field to that left flank, there was really no sense of any impediment as that cross was delivered. Kyle Adams was a little bit late from his right back position, and that was made a little bit more interesting in front of Michael Nelson's goal than it needed to be, but ultimately the play was made. And you look at some good physical tackling here from San Antonio. What did we see, though, in the 92nd minute last week for RGV? The captain, Connor Donovan, with a gaff at the top of the 18-yard box, and that was able to find the right foot of Zubak for LA Galaxy 2, and sure enough, a tough luck draw. So for RGV, this really is a gut check tonight. Can you get over what happened at the death just 7 nights ago and put together a solid performance? And for Kyle Adams, that was a little bit shaky at the onset.
And they also that is definitely going to be a foul right there. And the whistle will go against Hernandez. Hernandez might be lucky to stay out of Radchuk's book. But that's a good professional foul, because that was a runaway, and you want to slow those things down. For me, the big thing was the fact that they gave up those points at the death, and you see the takedown on Pirano. And this is striking distance. You can definitely draw something up here. As you see, Lang is just going to come over and have a quick conversation. Barmby.
The Englishman, three goals this season for Barmby. One of 4 players for San Antonio that has 3 goals.
Chips it in lazily and then headed on, but not much on that one at all for San Antonio. And this could be interesting. A lot of room to run, cutting inside. Good defense by San Antonio. Yarrow was able to pick up the loose ball. Anytime you can run on a ball like that, you want to be able to run in stride. That ball just kind of checked up a little bit on this turf. We talked about it when we were prepping for the game earlier, that maybe they cut the grass just a little bit higher, which is the reason why when you see the play here at HEB, it tends to be a little bit slower than some of the other parks in the league.
Without question, some of the higher octane clubs in the USL offensively come into HEB Park and really have a tough time getting pace to the offense that they're accustomed to. And we discuss RGV and the issues they had late and how deflating that draw was. What about San Antonio? They're coming off of 3 straight home matches. While they went unbeaten, they only picked up 2 points out of the 3 matches. So they really weren't able to make up any ground in that race for the top 10. And so now for Darren Powell and this club, you go on the road for 3 and see if maybe you can't take 3 points at some point. You do need 3 points, though, if you're going to start making up ground and stay consistent with games in hand.
Ball was moving around quickly by San Antonio. The interception on the outside, but then given up right back to San Antonio. But here's an opportunity for RGV, slotting it forward and then ushered to Cardone.
Well, that all started, Salazar didn't know where his teammates were in the middle of the field and was going to play it through, and there was nobody there. There was no one within 15 yards of him. But then Hernandez able to force a turnover, and ultimately, though, a strong play in the back from Kai Green, who definitely knows a thing or two about RGV. No,
absolutely. But the thing about it is, you look at manager Echeverry there. You'll see him as the game goes on get a lot more animated, spend a lot more time on his feet, trying to direct traffic, and you look at Kai Green right there.
Yeah, Kai Green spent the last 3 years with RGV. He actually played for Gerson Echeverry at Seton Hall. This is his first season with San Antonio. He's just a solid presence in the back, a veteran leader that San Antonio needs on their defense.
No, he's one of those guys that is just so incredibly dependable, and you want that out of the right side of the offense, and that space kind of opening up with the exiting of Darnell King going to Nashville. Forbes has Lang to his left. That's where he goes. Lang will have to hurry. He won't be able to get there.
That's case in point why San Antonio this season has had so many problems scoring, because as you get into the attacking third, and there are a number of teams here, even entering month number 4 of the USL season, that the final third fails them, and that's exactly what happened there. But to see a veteran like Forbes make a pass like that and break up something that looked a little bit promising is disappointing. But I like the buildup from San Antonio. They have done well in the midfield here early in the first 11 minutes.
Buildup is great, but at the end of the day, if you're not finishing, if you're not going like we talked about earlier, and you're not able to put the ball on frame from that buildup, then basically you're just possessing the ball for a period of time. And for a player like Forbes to give it up so easily and to lead another player like Lang as far as he did, and Lang not to corral it in, those are 2 guys on that left side that you expect a lot more out of.
Yeah, without question. And your veterans certainly have to step up. Your most talented players up top, your dependables, need to be able to consistently perform, and that just has not been there for San Antonio. One credit to San Antonio, though, is the defense really has been good this year. It has kept them in matches. You know about this point what the identity of a club is going to be. We know San Antonio is not going to be a high-scoring club now. That's not going to change.
No, they bunker in, but they keep their shape very, very well, and when they can, they distribute. So
this is good right here. Then played back. and not so good. This is similar, the way the field is tilted towards the RGV goal, the opponent controlling possession, to the opening 20 minutes last week, what we saw here at HEB Park, where finally LA Galaxy 2 broke through off of a corner, a poorly marked corner, and I don't like that. If you're RGV, you've really learned nothing from the opening 20 minutes 7 days ago.
Verano sending it forward for Gomez. Flag is up. Good ball movement once again, and then breakdown with taking too many steps. And that, if you're Darren Powell, you're going to be concerned about getting into the final third and giving up opportunities. Because after a while, giving up opportunities, whether they're on errant passes, like we saw earlier, or it's because of offside, those will start to take their toll as well. That will start to mentally slow down your offense. RGV really, they need to settle in and control the ball more, and those heavy touches right there will be problematic.
Here's a good ball.
Over the top, Salazar, and that ball is loose, and
wow.
We've got a...
Cardone took a shot.
To the face.
He absolutely did, and it might have been a knee from Salazar that caught him, as Cardone made a nice, strong conviction play, as you love to see your keeper do. But here's a replay, and we'll see that was a good ball forward, well weighted. A touch on it, and it definitely looks like a left knee. Caught him in the face.
And part of this, too, is Yarrow hits the back of Salazar, and then Salazar is just trying to keep his balance, and they'll attend to Cardone. And this is difficult. We've talked about it. We talked about it last week. The head trauma protocol that has been instituted by USL throughout the entire family of leagues is to me very important, because this is a different game than other sports. You can't really call timeout. You can't take a player to the side. And you have to make decisions quickly because of the substitution situation in the game of football. So it's important that they make sure that in evaluating a player's health, they get it right.
The backup keeper available tonight off the bench is Jonathan Viscosi, someone who has seen time this year. And there you see Darren Powell discussing with the fourth official what comes next for San Antonio FC as Cardone remains down on the pitch. And you're exactly right, Bruce. And we have seen at every level of international soccer still a spotty approach to concussion protocol. And I do think here in the States, more than maybe any other domestic league in the world, no matter what league you're talking about here in the U.S., it's paid attention to more closely, followed more closely. But boy, we see in the Premier League, we see in Serie A, we see in La Liga all the time. I think a lot of concessions made to keep players on the pitch when it really is not appropriate. And the USL in particular, I think, for the most part, the last couple of seasons has got it right. Cardone a smile on his face, and it looks like he's going to stay in.
Well, I think a lot of, when you talk about the approach in the United States and the focus in the United States, I think a lot of that comes from the fact that the controversy that surrounds the NFL.
Yeah, that is an umbrella over everything.
And because it is in the United States, and this is a U.S.-based league, I think that is a contributing factor
completely
to the decisions that have been made. And look, let's face it, player health should be paramount. The players are the product. The players are the reason why fans come out and they watch and they buy kits, give up easily, and now an opportunity for RGV to mount an attack. And they'll slide it out to the outside and try to make something happen inside. Getting headed out. Lance Lang probably waiting on that one a little too much, and Enrique trying to keep it in play, and he loses the handle. A little helter-skelter throughout that entire exchange.
Finally, something from RGV from a pressure standpoint that required build-up. RGV, when they finally got themselves into the game last week, finally had some consistency on the ball. They were pressing, and they were forcing turnovers, and they were controlling the midfield, and that was the first evidence of them finally starting to find their way in this one tonight.
17th minute, we are scoreless at HEB, South Texas, in this Darby.
If you like humidity tonight,
You got it.
You got it. 89 degrees at kickoff on what was a high of 96 today in the south of Texas.
Samuel's extremely active, and you look at him set up as the right center back, but he is all over the pitch for RGV. Nelson looking to kick this one away. He gets it up in the air, intended for Salazar. It's headed away. And both of these teams really haven't been able to settle down. It's been very reactionary. You've seen the better possessions by San Antonio, but for the most part, neither one of the teams, when they get into the final third, have really been able to mount much of an attack.
And now we're going to see them try and knock at the left side of this RGV defense. Only one other time tonight has San Antonio gone that direction. Primarily, they've gone over to the left flank and tried to work Forbes into the attack. Now they'll try and control out of the midfield, and they go back to the left. And that is their stronger side.
Lahoud going out wide for Green. Green trying to find a way to get that right foot and center it in. He does. RGV forces them out just a little bit.
Good patience here.
Forbes and then slotting it for Lang. Lang gets it into the middle. Forbes trying to get there. He can't. And everything will turn around. RGV going over the top. Foot race. Salazar will go to the corner. And he gets there, but can he keep it in? He can't. Akon.
Yeah. Akon hustle.
And that should be an interesting battle to watch as this game goes on. That right center back for San Antonio versus Salazar.
Salazar was starting to run out of gas, and Akon knew that and was able to hustle up and make life very, very difficult for Salazar and come up with a good defensive play.
Cabrera. And that is a great individual effort. And then he answers it, trying to get it over to Salazar and just well off the mark.
That was so frustrating. A gorgeous nutmeg, had room to operate and then just gives the ball away. And you can see how he reacted, throwing his fist into the air. He was just as frustrated with himself.
Yeah, when you see a play like that where it's just such a great individual effort to pull the ball around right here, pulls up the brakes, whoop, and then right back and in the unforced error.
Yeah, you do all that work, you get the hard part out of the way, and then for a simple pass 30 yards away from goal to fail you like that, it certainly is frustrating, but he is a very talented young player, someone with a lot of promise, and someone that certainly Houston keeps an eye on as well.
When you see an 18-year-old that can make a play like that, it is incredibly impressive. But you want to see him finish the drill.
Right. You saw both sides of an 18-year-old right
Absolutely, you really did. Akon, and he's got a lot of room to maneuver. Sliding it forward. Nice defensive play by Martinez, leading the attack for RGV, flicking it through. Pinballing around. Cardoni goes down. Cleared off the back line at the last second by Kai Green.
Salazar is saying it went over the goal line. I don't think that that's actually accurate. And we have
Enriquez
has a left knee that he's grabbing right now. What a great buildup, though, from RGV. They kept pounding away at Cardoni's goal. They did have a wide open Malik Foster standing all by himself right side of the box, and you'll see it here.
Martinez trying to flick it in. It gets deflected away. Cardoni comes in, and then, no, I think that was cleared out before it went into the goal.
It absolutely was.
Corner coming up. But
that was Kai Green.
Best buildup of the game so far, as Martinez will swing it away from goal. Flicked on and through, and Adams looks like he'll track it down. He gives it up for Enriquez, who flicks it in. Lang put his head on it. Now Forbes chasing it to the corner after the touch, and it will be too much. Martinez really getting very active.
Yes.
And for RGV, those are the types of things where you can come back and say, we found a kink in the armor.
Yep.
We can drive through this defense. There's the roadmap on how to do it. The question becomes, will they take it? How often do you see a game where a team will break down a defense the way they just did and then for whatever reason, never go back to that same line of attack.
It's becoming increasingly clear the blueprint for RGV offensive success is to press at the midfield and win the ball back and go from there. They are at their best. We saw it last week for 93 minutes, and we're seeing it here tonight. Case in point, and here comes build-up again. They are commanding the midfield now the last 5 minutes.
Cabrera with a beautiful ball now into the 18. Enriquez ridden off the ball.
No touch, goal kick.
But exactly what we were just talking about.
Correct.
So they did make a mental note that that's the way to go. And once again, it is Wilmer A. Cabrera.
Yep.
You know, we know it's Wilmer Andres Cabrera. You look in the notes and it's A. You know, it's like, and there you look at Coach Echeverry. It's like Michael J. Fox. His real middle name is with an A.
Oh, I did not know that.
But when he was picking his name for entertainment purposes, he didn't think that Michael A. Fox was the way to go.
Okay.
Considering the slang term for Fox, meaning an attractive person, Michael A. Fox. and he chose the fact that he wasn't that vain or had that much of an ego.
Vivica A. Fox, on the other hand,
completely
works
different.
Completely.
Absolutely, as we get a look at Darren Powell tonight. On the road, not far from where they play. Both of these teams play in absolutely beautiful soccer-specific stadiums.
Two of the better ones in the USL, and you can make an argument. We're talking about 2 top 5 venues in the entire league. They are just gorgeous, gorgeous facilities. You and I have seen them both.
And I've been in San Antonio and called games there before, and just first-rate facility from start to finish. Adams now will lead the charge from the back. We're in the 24th minute, scoreless. We've had a little bit of excitement for RGV. They just haven't been able to break through. For San Antonio, they have given up some opportunities as they got into the final third.
Well, you can hear that wind whipping around at 20 miles an hour. It is a windy, windy night, and it certainly looks like it is coming through that north end of the stadium right there and making life difficult because Michael Nelson's goal kick just moments ago stopped dead.
Lance Lang, the veteran. Not sure there's many places he hasn't played in North America. Fort Lauderdale, here in San Antonio, Edmonton, North Carolina.
He's hit all the time zones.
Yeah, everything, but I think the Pacific.
Right.
Forbes leading Lang. This is a ball that Lang can handle. Whipping it in. Nobody home all the way through. Closest man there, Pirano.
Encouraging to see, though, from San Antonio. You see Echeverry not exactly pleased with his back four there, and really his midfield leading into the back four. But that's better from San Antonio simply because Lang and Forbes were having a tough time with that press that RGV has been incorporating and forcing several turnovers at the midfield. And that's the first time in a while that Lang and Forbes have been able to get forward and create an opportunity.
Lang has also played in Minnesota with the Loons, so I think we have gotten his entire resume now out of the way. Nelson, strong right foot. Here's a foot race, and Cardone decides, hey, I'll clear this out. Salazar, a little bump there by LaHood.
Bruce, neither you or I have much problems growing facial hair, and so Cardone certainly seems as if it is a favorite pastime of his. I just wonder how long it's taken him to grow that beard to the impressive length and width that it's become.
2 weeks.
2 weeks? That would be an incredible run.
I think it is a fashion statement by quite a number of keepers.
Yeah, keepers are really becoming more like a hockey player type of feel with these beards. There's a lot of rugged keepers in the USL.
And you get a good look at Cardone's there. Cody Lorendi is one with a nice beard.
It's majestic.
Tim Howard.
Yep.
RGV back on it.
Tim Howard obviously doesn't have the impressive head of hair that Cardone has.
No, we have the same hairstyle though.
I'm getting there.
You got plenty of time. San Antonio, since the early part of this half, seemed to have really lost any sense of rhythm, direction. RGV with a couple of nice attacks really have them on their heels. They've been able to string together a couple of passes, but really haven't been able to knock on the door and challenge Nelson.
And you see really for the first time, as that cross is going to go wayward and miss the target, you see San Antonio relying on long balls. And if that's in the 28th minute, what you're going to have to resort to is going to be a long night.
Barnby from distance, just wide. Made Nelson jump. But then again, got to put it on frame. That is the lesson. And Echeverry just giving some instructions to his defense. Select is the official ball supplier of USL Championship and many of the finest leagues in the world since 1947. Barnby has been kicking it just wide. Select has been the leader in ball quality and innovation. For the latest products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com.
The attacking third, the final third performance for San Antonio just hasn't been there tonight. So I like Barnby's idea to turn and fire. And no, he didn't put it on frame, but he at least made the keeper think about it.
Adams back to his keeper. A little bit of pressure. And you know who has been incredibly quiet in this game so far for San Antonio? Almost non-existent. Ever Guzman.
Yep, all-time leading scorer for this franchise. Also 4 goals all-time against RGV. He is the all-time South Texas Derby leading goal scorer. And I'm not sure that we've called his name once tonight. And
He's
you see
there,
him in the middle,
I see him.
Right. He's being marked so well by Connor Donovan, the captain, and the man who is the anchor in the back for RGV. There is no room to operate for him.
Donovan, usually the left fullback, pulled into the middle by Echeverry. And really creating fits for Powell and company.
Yeah, and the starting 11, Donovan was listed as the left back tonight, but you're right, he has been pulled centrally, and Guzman is being snuffed out right now.
30 minutes in, scoreless. Better chances to come the way of RGV. And the home team picking up the loose ball as Forbes was dispossessed into the middle. Just didn't have enough on it. Intended for Malik Foster, but RGV right back on it. Race to the corner, that will stay in play. That was a ball that nobody was expecting because it's in the back of the net. How about that? RGV on the board. Jesus Enriquez from Coronado. 30th minute.
RGV, their speed is too much. And we saw San Antonio move Forbes to the other side, and Forbes was just raced past. There was so much room on the left side. There's the delivery. Coronado, wait. Enriquez, that's an easy slotted finish.
Tremendous credit to Coronado. He gets there. The natural play from that position is to whip it high in the air into the 6. He was a little bit more patient with it. Had the viewpoint to really pick up Enriquez and put it in the back of the net.
And that's his 3rd goal of the year in the 30th minute. Forbes is looking slow. He is looking lumbering. You see him now back on the left side, but he had switched to the right side, and that was, with that firepower, that speed over there, that was not a good matchup, and San Antonio paid for it.
And that right side of the pitch is not a place in all the years that Billy Forbes has played in North America. You do not see Billy Forbes on the right-hand side. He is the left side.
Right.
And it was interesting because I did pick him up there on the right. I almost had to take a double take to make sure that I was picking up the right number because I'm not used to him being on the right side.
Yeah, and now you see him a little bit more centrally. Lang has moved out wide to the left to attack that flank. And now another giveaway. Numbers.
Sent forward, not quite where he wanted it, but Foster, and that's the problem with that ball. Foster led perfectly, but too far to the right. if he is led to the left where he can run onto the ball with his left foot, not his right foot, this is a 2-0 game.
That's the only reason Akin was able to get into Foster's neighborhood, because Foster is the faster player. But you're right, spray just too far out wide. You have to have a big touch to get yourself in a goal-scoring position, because you see Akin coming, but a corner. San Antonio sloppy.
It was a combination of a hard touch and a leading pass, and here's the outswinger. Great camera angle right there, but right again, Coronado, and he's trying to get a goal to go with the assist.
RGV's playing very confidently right now. They know that they're the faster team. They know they're the most athletic team on the pitch right now, and while that was an ambitious attempt from Coronado, it also was a confident attempt from Coronado. They are really within their offense now.
Very similar game than we saw a week ago.
It is.
Against Los Dos, where RGV was really the better player from better team from whistle to whistle. They just got a bit unlucky at the very end.
RGV has not been punished by their slow start tonight like LA Galaxy 2 was able to put onto them. That was a nice attempt at a nutmeg, but a goal kick coming now for RGV.
So Nelson will kick this one away.
San Antonio in an interesting spot too, because not only do they have this match tonight, but they are just 4 days away from another in Texas rivalry matchup in the U.S. Open Cup with an emerging Austin Bold squad that is perhaps the most physical team in the entire USL. Up top, those forwards are big and bulky and really, really sniff out the goal. And San Antonio has that to look forward to in their third round matchup.
Lang picks up an errant pass, and now Lahoud sliding it forward. Gomez dancing around. Guzman actually touches the ball. So there is the first. Ball is ricocheted out, and Lahoud will go and track it down. You know, we were talking about RGV from a week ago. They give up a 92nd minute goal to Ethan Zubak. Zubak actually rewarded for that goal and played last night for the Galaxy in a win over Orlando City at City Stadium as Lang fires it in, gets it right back.
You gotta love that.
Lang at the line, he'll punch it high in the air, and that out of play. Closest person in a white kit was Brian Gomez.
And Ethan Zubak, he was really good last week, and he made his presence felt, not just that goal in the 92nd minute. So good to see the kid get rewarded for that by going up to the big club.
Got some good minutes in that game. Came in the 74th minute. Off the shoulder of Salazar. And good ball movement to press out into the middle. RGV just needs to sharpen up those passes just a little bit, and it will make the game a lot more fluid.
This is good stuff.
Enrique on Green. Green really closing the gap. Picking up some help from Gomez, and the ball stays in play as Cabrera stays on it. Enrique back to Coronado.
The speed difference is extremely noticeable between RGV and San Antonio. San Antonio is being stretched pretty thin.
Ball into the middle, Salazar. That's in the back of the net. Nothing Cardone could do. Salazar, he was just licking his chops on that one. 36th minute, 2-0 RGV.
And a kiss for the camera, and rightfully so. Salazar, 6 goals on the season. He has scored in back-to-back weeks. And you get it back to the midfield, and you build up again. Look at this ball played through. Gorgeous. Very much onside with Salazar. Nice and easy with the right foot. Cardone got a touch, but not much he could do about it. Everybody was onside. He could have pushed it off to Foster, but that's a confident player right now with the 6th goal of the season. RGV is rolling.
Gerson Echeverry's got to be happy about that. The build-up, the confidence, and we talked about it early on. They didn't quite seemed like they were on sync. But the second that they started getting San Antonio on their heels, they started to expose exactly what they could do. And I think a lot of it has to do, there's a lot more youth on the side of RGV. You have a lot more experience on the side of San Antonio. But where the equalizer is with an older squad, you have a slightly slower squad.
Right.
And we see RGV has been able to expose the inability to shut down the quickness of the Toros.
Yeah, it's showing up in a big way.
And Forbes just trying to force it between two defenders, can't do it. Ball will be sent forward. Now, that's just a smart play. Forbes trying to force something to happen, because when you're down 2-0 in the 38th minute, that's what you're going to do.
Absolutely.
And then when it doesn't work and nothing's there, send it down the pitch, get everybody to catch their breath, and then say, hey, San Antonio, come and beat us. You haven't been able to do it yet.
This is going to be a tough road back for San Antonio, and this is where the experience is going to have to come into play, especially as we get closer to halftime and then into the second half. San Antonio is going to have to dig deep into that experience and try and find ways to try and poke at RGV, because, man, these young players are really feeling themselves right now.
But also the experience last week of giving up 2 points towards the death. We're going to find out.
Yes.
We're going to find out, did they learn their lesson from a week ago?
Right. Was that a positive or was it a negative because they're broken mentally?
This is where Echeverry finds out what they talked about all week long. Did it resonate?
Yep, for sure. Because this is great. You're now up 2-0, and you are dominating this game in every respect. But what's going to happen as you get to the 60th, 61st, 62nd minute? Are you going to start thinking about it a little bit? The best remedy for that right now is close out with a strong 7 minutes here.
Well, if you're RGV, you're sitting here and going, we're handling this game. We're doing everything, and you're seeing it right now. Foster sliding it in. Salazar couldn't wrangle it in a little bit of pressure, but they're moving the ball so incredibly well. They just don't need to get away from that. Well, if San Antonio wants to counter, but when Barnby throws it out wide instead of getting a player in stride, you have to reset the offense a little bit.
And then you sit and wait instead of delivering a cross. We'll see if the build-up, here's Barnby.
Punches it out in the last minute. Nelson with the big save. Corner coming up, and San Antonio is going to look to do it quickly.
Well, it ended up working out. The patience there for San Antonio instead of delivering the cross. That was better.
They go short. Guzman for Barnby. Flicking it across. Cleared out momentarily. Barnby has to work hard to keep it in possession. Perano, and he's battling, and it's just too helter-skelter right now, as just too many orange kits around for San Antonio to do much. Guzman trying to get into that favorite foot, out the lane, into the middle. Forbes denied, right into the gut of, I believe it was Coronado. It is.
Yeah.
Coronado was just too close to Billy Forbes as he fired away.
Yeah, he's signaling that he got the wind knocked out of him. He's grabbing at his stomach. He took that shot close range right to his gut. Some desperate defending from RGV. There is room there for San Antonio. Barnby really made things go in this instance for San Antonio. He is going to have to remain consistent, but RGV defended when it mattered. But desperation from San Antonio as well, and you love to see it. And yeah, he caught him right in the ribs with that shot.
Yeah, that's going to leave a mark. Tomorrow morning he's going to wake up and the word select is going to be right there on his chest.
An impromptu tattoo.
A little give and go, and that just sent out of play at the last minute. And Kai Green really pulled into duty today. Great battle between him and Jesus Enrique.
You really like when two good players like that just go toe-to-toe. That's a nice throw-in. Oh!
And just slightly heavy touch there. And not only two good players going toe-to-toe, but two former teammates.
Exactly. They know each other's tendencies. They know how each other wants to play. Enriquez, that was a really, really good move right there. But San Antonio able to get back defensively, and now they will have the ball back. RGV now has slowed down a little bit. San Antonio has gathered itself since that second goal, but now you got to make it count.
But in fairness also, you can't play 90 minutes of pace the way RGV had played basically for the last 25.
Breakneck build-up and attacking the wings, you're exactly right. But man, San Antonio, they came close moments ago. If they can somehow grab a goal before halftime, what a confidence boost that will be in a half where they have been really dominating.
With the exception of what they did about 3 minutes ago, there's no indication that that's anywhere close to a part of their repertoire tonight.
Exactly, it truly would be a stolen goal, but then that starts to get the mental aspect for RGV. The wheels turning, and that's how you're going to get yourself back in this game.
Akon, Yarrow, and then forward. Just too much. So as we get into the 44th minute, here's where RGV with a 2-goal lead can really just slow things down, kind of gather up their energy a little bit. But that's not the type of throw-in that you want, as Gomez was able to put a head on it. Forbes leading another tattoo. That one on Donovan. And you see Lahoud now on the left. You'll see that from Lahoud throughout the game. Forbes now will go to the right. And very coolly defended by Samuels. Samuels early in the match was really going forward. Look at this. Foster denied. Cardoni, and that was a reckless challenge, but neither player will get carded on that.
Well, there's a
Salazar,
chance now.
And now Forbes trying to blast his way through, knocked away. Shot from distance will go well out of play.
I did not like what I saw from Lance Lang on that run out for Foster. Lang, instead of pursuing the play, and there is Salazar Lane clutching his right ankle. Cardoni coming out to tend to him, but Lang just gave up on it. He assumed that it was offside. Foster, there was no one within 15 yards of him, and Foster is going to beat himself up over trying to go 5-hole on Cardoni.
And when Foster sees the replay on this, he's going to wonder why he took the shot as early as he did. Cardoni came out of his office, showed exactly what he wanted to do. All he had to do was slow down the touches, go left or right, get Cardoni to basically make a decision, go the opposite way, and he could have walked it in.
Well, Salazar is up, and you just saw him. And that goal that he scored last week against LA Galaxy 2 is case in point where you're talking about. He stopped on a dime, the keeper committed, he shuffled it with his right foot and was able to score with his right foot. And if Foster does that, it's 3-0.
We're going to have 4 minutes of added time for your viewing pleasure. And it has been an entertaining one up until this point. Lance Lang whistled for the infraction. Yeah, I think Foster at this point, when he goes back and watches the film, as long as they get the win, now they're up 2-0, he'll take the fact that he didn't get the goal.
Right.
Now, if this game gets tight, he might lose sleep by the end of the evening.
I will say this, Jamaica is getting a very fit and a very confident Malik Foster for the Gold Cup if he ends up making the final roster. He is playing very good football right now.
Well, he's 22 years old, but he has a wealth of experience playing in the Costa Rican Premier League. And now here in Championship.
If you're going to thrive in that league, you got to be tough. There is some rigorous travel in that league. You're not playing in ideal conditions at times. You're playing at altitude. If you can stand out there like he has at points in his career, you can make it.
What was the song? If you, New York, New York. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. San Antonio with the build-up. Guzman, can he put his head on it? He does. Cleared out off the back line. Well done by RGV.
That was really nifty, though, from Guzman to alter his body and deliver that to the mouth of the goal to force RGV to have to make a plan. And I thought that ball was going to sail well out of play. Guzman, well done.
Andrew Samuels, who didn't play a week ago in that draw against Los Dos. Barnby, high in the air, flicked out. Lahoud sending it out. Right back into the box. Through the box, Barnby. Man, that was a rocket shot into the middle. Couldn't be handled.
Man, if Forbes could get one touch on it, it's 2-1.
Lang. Barnby. Trying to feed Lang. Lang will keep it in play. Center. Off the head of Donovan. Now Salazar. Salazar kind of whiffed on it a little bit. Takes a funky bounce. Foster will have to track it on. Akon was there, but he had to retreat. Cabrera. Enrique getting around Kai. Nope. Throws it back. Hernandez. RGV now in almost the 4th minute of stoppage. Will be okay with slowing things down.
RGV is going to have plenty of opportunities to get out in the counter in the second half, you would think, with San Antonio going to have to commit so many numbers forward, and especially with that speed advantage. I don't think we've seen the last of Foster being by himself on a run towards the goal.
Few backheel passes, and here comes RGV with a lot of running room. Can they put one more on before the break? Coronado loses it. Counter opportunity, and Forbes was a step or two too far.
Yeah, it was close. Forbes frustrated. But this is good counterattack football from San Antonio. They have started to put themselves in a position to threaten Nelson's goal. Nothing overly consistent, but you at least see a pulse from this offensive attack.
Waiting for the whistle of Michael Radchuk as we are now 4+ minutes into stoppage. See if he'll give RGV one more build-up. Akon will gather it in, and that will do it for your first 45 plus 5, basically. A well-played first half for RGV. San Antonio is going to have some discussions when they get to the locker room. We'll come back with all kinds of fun during the halftime festivities as the Toros go to the locker room up 2-0.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many, to plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank.
The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
At DHR Health, we have one goal: advancing the health of the Rio Grande Valley. We're deeply committed to our community and its health. DHR Health, here for you, for life.
Shop online at birdogden.com. Pick out your vehicle and click Buy Now. Work your own deal and submit your trade. It's that easy. Shop now at birdogden.com. Daligas.
We return to HEB Park in Edinburgh, Texas. Warm night here in the south of Texas. Rio Grande Valley, a deserved 2-0 advantage over San Antonio FC. Jesus Enriquez, a goal at the 30th minute. 6 minutes later, Michael Salazar finding the back of the net. And let's take a look at the history of this South Texas Derby. RGV, the advantage 4-3-3 all time. RGV hasn't lost in this rivalry since 2017. Ever Guzman, and we saw bits and pieces the final 10 minutes of the first half. He leads the series 4 goals. Billy Forbes, 2 goals in Derby play. He's come close on a couple of opportunities tonight in the rare instances of attack for San Antonio FC. San Antonio FC is going to be a club that's going to have to get themselves back into this match if they want to have an opportunity here late. And it'll be Billy Forbes, likely him and Guzman, who are going to have to lead that attack. Here's a look at the Texas teams and this new cup that has been formulated. This Copa Tejas, El Paso Locomotive, Austin Bold, Rio Grande Valley, San Antonio. Right now, Austin Bold, if the cup were to be given today, and there's a lot of action still to come between these Texas teams, they would win Copa Tejas. Rio Grande Valley, here's what's coming up for them. After this home match tonight, they're on the road for 2 at Orange County next Saturday. Then 1 week later, go to Real Monarch. Back home for 2 against Colorado Springs. The Switchbacks have really struggled in Western Conference play. And then a very tough team in Austin Bold FC. That's who San Antonio has in U.S. Open Cup play on Wednesday. Here is San Antonio FC, and there is that Austin Bold FC matchup. That will be in the capital of Texas. That's Wednesday. And then at Sacramento Republic FC, home against Reno 1868. And then back-to-back road matches at OKC Energy and at Fresno. So San Antonio, they need to start putting some points on the table, and it does not get much easier for them in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks. Well, it was a great week of USL action last weekend. Let's take a look at what it looked like on your computer or TV screen.
And now Phoenix coming out the other way. Junior Fleming's leading the charge. Numbers forward for Phoenix. John trying to go back for Flemings. Flag stays down, back across, solo!
We're underway right off the bat. Here's Justin Dillon moving up the middle. He's going to push that ball wide toward Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a first touch cross back inside for Dillon, and a goal! Less than 10 seconds!
Poku slicing through. Quadro Poku! Scored! Tejada again!
Lomas kicks it to his right. Crosses it underneath Miller, and it's knocked away. Spangenberg deflects it, laying out and making the save.
It's a great save again.
It's acquired a backstage pass. Doyle recovers. Aduro 1-0.
Go to work to the byline, crossing in. It's a goal! Again, Jerome Kiesewetter.
It's Braider! What a hit!
Here's the wet trick. Into the box, a strike, and a goal.
Dangerous player, perhaps in USL League One. Pepe curls! Ricardo Pepe, brilliance!
Looking to get that right foot off for an incredible one-handed save by Kevin Silva.
Developing situation, Jones
Jones on the move. Jones with a shot. Rips it off the right post. Another opportunity, and the strike is true.
JC Banks now, letting it rip from deep. What a save by Hara.
Team, Cablante, back of the net. 42nd minute.
Bowling the second go, falls through, saved by Fitzgerald. Oh, what a stop.
Great stuff from the USL Championship and USL League One. Some news and notes from the USL. The player of the week, Kevon Frater, who you saw in those highlights. Second time this season he's been the player of the week. He leads all goal scorers with 10. The Lamar Hunt US Open Cup, 19 USL squads are in the third round. That's Tuesday and Wednesday. And the Tampa Bay Rowdies, they truly are Las Vegas. It's 2-0 here at HEB Park. Rio Grande Valley on top of San Antonio FC. Second half action to come. We'll have it for you next on ESPN+.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better we'll be.
For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many. To plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. Customization is what we've always done. We have mustard, mayo, ketchup. It's all up to you.
When you customize your own burger, you can put your personality in it.
Manny's ketchup, no cheese. This is my Whataburger.
We customize orders 24 hours a day.
Everybody wants it just like they like it. When you can make it your own, that always enhances that experience for you.
They're just happy to do whatever makes you happy.
However you want it, I got you. Here at Whataburger, we make it just like you like it, whenever you like it.
Hola Bruce, bienvenido a Taquería Manu. ¿Taquería Manu? Mi nueva pasión ahora que estoy retirado. Desde que probé las carnes marinadas, mi tienda para tacos son fáciles y rapidísimos de hacer. A ver, dale, mira esto. Elige el sabor que quieras.
¡Híjole! ¡Qué rico!
Provecho, Bruce.
Gracias, hermano.
Carnes Marinadas, mi tienda de HEB, celebrando nuestra cultura, costumbres y pasión.
Welcome back to HEB Park, Rio Grande Valley over San Antonio FC, 2-0. And Ken, this game started, it was a little bit of a punch-counter-punch, but then RGV found the recipe and they exploited it. This is a little bit earlier.
Yeah, this was the early moments. You see the cross, some late defending from RGV, but they're able to come out of that unscathed. Delivery to the box, well marked by RGV, and easily done for Nelson. Then RGV started to take the cap off of San Antonio FC. This ball played forward, well done. Salazar able to get a touch on it. Cardone with a strong play.
But right there, around this time in the game, is when RGV figured out if we can press and keep San Antonio on their heels, good things are going to happen. The youngster really having an outstanding game. And you see Cardone, and that we didn't even see that real time. That was an incredible angle.
It was.
As Kai Green was able to clear it out. And that prevents the first goal of the day. And then Barnby sending out wide right. And now this is a beautiful play. Into the corner, looking like he's just going to whip it in. Nope, keeps it on the ground. The warm burner, and a second warm burner, and it goes into the back of the net. And that was Coronado. Just great vision to see Enriquez and put it in the back of the net. We're 1-0. That is in the 30th minute.
And then just 6 minutes later, they would strike again. And this was played through expertly, and there's the well-deserved Enriquez kiss to Coronado, who set him up for that goal. RGV wasn't done, and really all this changed too, Bruce, when RGV started to control the midfield. And look at this ball through. So well done. Salazar, 6th goal of the season. And for him, the way he's been playing, top form, that goal looks like it's 20 yards wide. He puts it off of Cardone, puts it in the back of the net. There's nothing disingenuous about this 2-0 scoreline at halftime.
No, absolutely not. RGV has earned every bit of this 2-goal advantage. And you got to love that. The only thing better than that is if somebody had handed him a Sharpie.
Give us a little autograph.
All right, and here's where it gets really interesting, because the possession has favored San Antonio, and that's why it's a little deceptive. 4-2 on target, 6-8 on San Antonio. 2-0 is the only thing that really matters. Going back to the possession thing for me, RGV really playing this game brilliantly, because not only are they letting San Antonio possess the ball, and that's a false narrative because it's really in the backcourt and in the middle.
Completely.
They're not doing anything really in the final third. And what RGV is really allowing San Antonio to do is exert a tremendous amount of energy so that when they decide they want to go on the counter, San Antonio's on their heels and they're gassed.
And let's be honest, if it wasn't for Cardone standing on his head in the final 5 minutes.
It'd be 4 or 5 nothing.
Absolutely. I mean, Foster, there was not a single player within 20 yards of him as Cardone kept the score line at 2-0 and gave San Antonio a chance. But man, the speed of RGV has been incredibly impressive. They have certainly let it go after last week, and that late dramatic goal from LA Galaxy 2 stole a draw here at HEB Park. But now the real work starts for RGV. Can you put it away? Have you put the demons to rest after what happened last week against LA Galaxy 2? But I do know one thing. Coach Echeverry's squad has looked like the offensive juggernaut that we think they can be moving forward in the USL.
And now you got the conversation there from the captain, Mike LaHood. And we talked about him at the beginning of the broadcast. So much football IQ. Just such a smart player on and off the pitch. He's one of those Renaissance guys. If you talk to him off the pitch, you don't have to talk football.
No.
You can talk politics. You can talk news, entertainment. I've, over the years, spent a lot of time with Mike LaHood. He's one of my favorite people in the game because he is so intelligent and he is so multifaceted as an individual. And obviously, we talked about his fascinating story of coming over from the United States to the United States from Sierra Leone, and his connections to Sierra Leone. And the fact that he does give back, as we see. Michael Ratchuk is our referee. So we've switched sides here at HEB. In orange, going from right to left on your screen, will be the home Toros. And you see Guzman will get us started in all white for the visitors. And this is what they're referring to is the South Texas Darby. Now, good thing we're not bringing up a map of the state of Texas.
San Antonio isn't technically in South Texas, but we get the idea.
But there is a larger cup at stake, and this is a great story from the 4 supporters groups with the 4 clubs here in USL Championship between Austin, El Paso, the newcomers, and these 2 experienced veteran clubs in championship between San Antonio and RGV.
And Copa Tejas, and it definitely spices up this regional rivalry. And now in the state of Texas, you have the 4 USL teams. It's just fun, and it's a way for the supporter groups to get themselves involved and to continue to build the base of these teams. Everybody loves a rivalry. Everybody loves a new cup to play for. This is a total no-brainer, and if anything, it also reaches the casual fan who doesn't know much about the teams, especially Austin, El Paso, the new championship teams this year. This is a great start, and what a fantastic idea.
Well, and the fact that you have supporters groups leading it. It's not something that the teams got together and said, let's do this. It's the supporters. So you do bring in the hardcore fans, the ones that are going to go to every single game. as you see Coronado just stepping in front. But you also have fans that will find the game, and they'll find out what the supporters culture is like. They'll find out the rivalries between these teams. And, you know, for these two clubs, there is a rivalry. It's a derby that they've been playing for a while as Adams steps in front of that one. But you have a situation as Guzman is going to look to whip the ball. Nope. He'll lay it off for Green. Green keeps it in play. Cooled out. Nope. Flag will go up, so Nelson will get to kick this one away. When you get the fans involved, education in the game comes together. So you not only have the football education, you have the USL Championship education and the pedigree and everything else that goes along with it, as Akon will let that go all the way back to Cardone and then roll it out to Yarrow. Yarrow has been very, very quiet in this game.
He has.
And now the Argentine Gomez will send him chasing.
Well, you know, and it also works here in Texas because the only team affiliated with an MLS squad in Texas of the USL teams is this one right here in RGV, but even that is a hybrid relationship. It's enough to where RGV isn't eligible to compete in the US Open Cup, but you have enough consistency within this team from a roster standpoint where you can get to know these players.
Green sending it in, Donovan heading it out.
And so it just works, and I would like to see in California potentially a cup come up. It's a little bit difficult with LA Galaxy too. We know the constant roster shuffling that goes with that squad, but this is a blueprint, what they're doing with Copa Tejas here in the Lone Star State, for other states to put that forth, to come up with that idea. It's just a great thing.
No, absolutely, and with more teams in USL Championship, opportunities for more type of cups. You've got Memphis and Nashville.
You got Reno and Las Vegas.
Well, that's a fun one.
The USL has done a really good job of, as they've grown this league, coming up with regional rivalries.
Salazar sending it out wide. Build up in the middle, and he just ran over it. Cabrera's going to want to look at this one again. He ran over the ball rather than making a play at the ball. And does earn the foul.
And I don't know about that. That seems a bit harsh to call a foul there. We've certainly seen more physical play than that. RGV ends up coming out on the right end of this.
Barbasol is down by Radchuk. And Foster, the 22-year-old Jamaican, will take a walk away so that Martinez, who played his college ball here at Texas RGV, will serve it up. 50th minute, RGV up 2-0. Ball in, headed out. Adams on it, and Adams has had a very quiet day.
Yeah, he definitely has. He's risen to the occasion a couple of times defensively, but he has not been featured in the attack.
Foot race, and that was awkwardly played by Nelson. He was like in no man's land. He's in the mouth of the 18. Do I kick it away, or do I back up and then catch it? And that leads the attack.
Still got a good foot on it.
Yeah, he did. Enriquez. Shot from distance. Made Cardone jump. Martinez decided he was going to take that rip, the 22-year-old out of Brownsville.
Yeah, just about 15 minutes from here in Edinburgh. And that was a good attempt. Tried to curl it far post and near post and was a bit off target, but made Cardone dive to his right. And so far, so good for RGV. This is a better start to the half than what we saw at the onset of the game.
And what's interesting for me is that as Donovan kind of clears it out, does not look like anything that San Antonio discussed in the locker room has translated onto the pitch. They're basically playing exactly the way they did in the first half. The only thing we haven't seen right now is really nothing going through Billy Forbes and Lance Lang.
I have to think that Darren Powell was at least encouraged what he saw in the final 5-6 minutes of the first half and decided not to make a major formation change or a substitution at half.
But let me ask you about that. Is that kind of a false sense of security? Given the fact that RGV really wasn't looking to score another goal. They were really looking to kind of conserve their energy and run out the clock. So from the standpoint of the mental aspect of this game, Darren Powell might have seen some good things out of his squad, but he didn't see the best out of RGV to close out the half.
I think that's very accurate, and I think you are right. Maybe a false sense of security. I also don't think that Coach Powell is going to wait much longer before he starts getting some reinforcements up and the substitutions start.
Well, you start to look at what do you want to do on that back line. Do you want to lift one of your defenders to put in another attacking player? You know, now that you're in the 52nd minute, you're chasing the game. So you start to question, you bring out Lance Lang, Yarrow, Akon, Green. For me, if you're going to lift a player, you got to lift the center back, either Yarrow or Akon. You gotta leave Lang and Green on just for simply the additional attacking opportunities.
And I think, obviously, when you're looking at who could potentially come in, Gallegos in the midfield comes to mind.
Salazar picking up the loose ball. He'll take the shot. Got a little impatient there. The reinforcements weren't there. Great defensive effort to pick up the loose ball, steal it away, but then getting close to it, taking that shot from distance. If you're going to take a shot from distance, at least blast it and try to put it on frame. If you're going to put it, you know, 10, 20 feet above the goal, there's no sense. Slow it down, put your foot on it, wait for your teammates to show up. Here's Gomez pulling it into the middle, defended but still on it, sliding it through. Forbes will chase it. Samuels is the closest defender. Perano back for Lahoud. Gomez running on. Yarrow. Gomez battling. Player down for RGV. No intended foul, but nonetheless, that'll catch your breath.
Might be Martinez who's down.
Cabrera.
It is Cabrera.
So the 18-year-old who's having an amazing game is down and slow to get up. Fans, follow RGV and the rest of USL Championship all season long on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, UFC, and more. Join over 2 million sports fans who have already discovered ESPN+ and watch the championship live every week. Sign up today at ESPNplus.com. Into the middle. Akon put a foot on it, but very, very slow to get there to cover it back up. Foster came in to challenge. Cardone gets to kick it away, but very, very casually defended by the man at a Bowling Green University.
And Lance Lang is just backpedaling instead of realizing that Foster's lurking behind him, and Lang created more space for Foster to potentially make a play on that ball and almost earned himself a corner. That was poor communication from San Antonio.
San Antonio, you know, they bust over here. And they're playing like they were on the plane for 15 hours.
Yeah, it's a flat-footed effort for the most part tonight. RGV has just had more energy. They've had more bounce. We know they're more athletic.
Here's an opportunity for San Antonio to exert their will. Gomez trying to slot that pass. Adams got in front of it. He'll lead the charge. Beautiful back heel. Here comes Enriquez sliding it through. Well defended momentarily by Akon.
But man, RGV wastes no time getting out on the attack. As soon as the defense makes the play, they are off to the races, and then pressure.
Misplay. Oh.
Malik Foster doing his best goalkeeping attempt.
Cabrera takes his rip, and he's defended by his own teammate.
And it was well defended too. Not what he was looking to do.
Lahoud now on the right. He's been switching back and forth. The captain, he'll direct traffic. Extremely versatile player. Mostly plays on the right as a winger, but you'll see him track around to work the other side. Occasionally you'll see him drop in to the 10 to keep the defenders honest.
So we saw a couple of moments ago, San Antonio did have their reserves up and getting warm, and I think we are mere moments away from seeing our first substitution come from Darren Powell. Bradford Jamison, forward, he is an option for them, as is Gallegos in the midfield. Also, you might see Ethan Bryant as well in the midfield.
Gomez trying to flick it in, knocked away by Adams. Green got on it. Barnby defended easily by Samuels. And here comes Salazar. Beautiful pass. Flag will stay down. All kinds of running room for Foster. Over for, yep, that's going to find the back of the net. Salazar with patience. He's got a brace in the 58th minute.
It's just beautiful, and it's such a deadly counterattack. We discussed at the end of the first half that counter opportunities were not going to end in the second half, and sure enough, Foster, instead of winding it up from outside the 18, he decides to make the smart play. Salazar, a very similar goal to the one he had in the second half last week. It's on his right foot. The keeper commits. He sees it. Right foot. There's the finish. He has the brace. He has 7 goals on the season, and this is an overwhelming, devastating effort from RGV.
But credit to Foster for having tremendous vision as Cardona came out to cut him off, that Foster just looked out of the corner of his left eye and saw that Salazar was trailing and pulled the trigger on the pass at the right time. And then give Salazar, who had the patience and the wherewithal to get it to Foster in the first place, to have the patience to wait for Cardona to go and commit before he took a shot, and a double substitution coming up, as Walter Restrepo will be coming in, and it looks like he's going to come in for Billy Forbes. So Restrepo for Forbes in the 59th minute.
And Bradford Jamison is entered as well.
For Lance Lang.
Yep.
So interestingly enough, when we were talking about substitutions and where Darren Powell might go, we anticipated that Forbes and Lang would actually stay in, and both of them getting lifted. Restrepo is a very pacey, very crafty veteran who is played a lot of years in San Antonio.
Yep.
Played for the Scorpions back in the NASL days. Played for the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, the Tampa Bay Rowdies, the New York Cosmos. He's played with so many teams in North America that if he ever played in a old timers game, he could set up a kit very similar to the way Gaylord Perry had one when he would play in old timer games when he would pitch.
Now these substitutions, they were designed to come with the score still 2-0. And so that third goal makes this almost an impossible task for San Antonio. In 30 minutes, you need to score on average a goal every 10 minutes for a team that has not scored more than 3 goals in a game all season, a team that only has 14 goals coming into tonight. Man, RGV is putting it on San Antonio. What a response by this young group.
And it's a very similar game to the way they played a week ago. The difference is defensively, they played that much better.
Correct.
And I think it's a combination of San Antonio and their woes, as you see that shot from behind by Foster. It's a combination of RGV doing a really good job defensively on shutting down any kind of attack. But the other thing is San Antonio really has not offered any kind of attack.
No.
So they've made RGV's job on defense pretty easy. So here is Jack Barnby, who has taken all the set pieces this evening. Left foot, 61st. By the time he kicks it, it will be the 62nd minute. A lot of bodies just outside of the 18. And that's where he serves it, headed out by Donovan. Lahoud will chase. And Gomez, and this is not where you want Gomez to be. I realized it was on a set piece and he was setting back, but Gomez has not been a factor tonight. Guzman certainly has not been a factor tonight. Will Walter Restrepo become a factor in the last 30 minutes of this game?
Well, San Antonio is going to have to hope that he does. And here's the delivery into the area. And once again, good defending from Kyle Adams.
You know, right now, RGV is kind of bend, don't break.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. The defense definitely is not the most stout defense you're going to see in the USL. They are more of an offensive-oriented team, but they do enough, and their defense can create offense. When they're on and that game plan is working, it's a good thing. As we saw last week here in Edinburgh, sometimes that defense fails you and it puts you in a precarious spot. But, man, there is endless opportunity with this young talent for RGV.
This is about as much time as we have seen San Antonio spend on this side of the pitch. If we went to the statistics right now and said, okay, what is the percentage, it would vastly favor San Antonio.
Right.
But that has all been on their side of the pitch.
Correct.
And in the middle. The amount of time that they have spent with the ball in the final third, this is about the longest they've spent all game long.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of green on a team heat map in the attacking third for San Antonio.
Guzman trying to connect with Strepo, and then Lahoud sends it in. Gomez, and that's knocked away and well defended.
There's no vertical runs for San Antonio. Everything is left and right, left and right, left and right.
And it's also pinball left and right.
Correct.
It's into a defender, pull it back out, into a defender, pull it back out. Nelson will send this thing forward and then clear it out and out of play by Green. Get updates and alerts all year long by following your club on ESPN.com. Search for RGV and then click the follow button to keep up with the latest news and scores. Plus, get reminders on RGV's next match. Go to ESPN.com now and click follow for your club.
So, Bruce, coming into tonight, RGV 14th, 2 points behind the three teams with 15 points who were in the 8, 9, 10 spot respectively in the Western Conference. And those teams were OKC, Austin, and LA. So a quick check of the scoreboard. Austin trails New Mexico United 2-1. San Antonio with a little bit of build-up here.
Couldn't get to Guzman, cleared out by Adams.
So if that result holds, Austin stuck on 15 points. OKC right now has a 1-0 lead over Colorado Springs, and then LA Galaxy 2 plays tonight. But all in all, this result looks like it's going to hold unless something shocking happens. You are jumping above a Texas rival of yours. You have 3 points on the board, and you're very much in conversation for a 10 spot.
And here comes the run. Lahoud gets beat. Salazar with reinforcements. Foster got there first. Got on the ball. Foster is hurt in that collision with Cardone. Cardone and Foster, and they've been battling all night long. And you know what? That's what you like to see. You like to see a guy, you think he's hurt for a second, but now he's just catching his breath. And that smile, and he's smiling as he hits the turf. Gotta love that out of Malik Foster.
He knew he wasn't gonna get a point to the spot for that, but man, Michael Salazar, the way that he just bodied San Antonio defenders off that ball to keep that possession alive, Salazar is making a great case for a lot of attention on the USL. He's already going to be on the USL Team of the Week, but we're talking potential Player of the Week.
Oh, there's no doubt. A goal a week ago, 2 goals tonight, as we'll have a player down for RGV.
And they call the trainer out.
Because he's holding the knee.
That's Martinez.
Who has had a solid game, the 22-year-old out of Brownsville. Played at Texas, Rio Grande Valley, and you see that collision.
Oh, he got his
right there with Pirano, and he was touching the edge of his knee.
Yeah, he got his cleat caught in the turf before the collision happened.
And we've talked about how this pitch looks a little bit higher than most. And when right as we were coming back from halftime, and we had a shot from the ground, you saw the divots, and you saw the grass chunks. that were up. And that's one of those situations where you hope that the ACL, the MCL, and the meniscus are all attached right now, because those are very familiar injuries when you see a foot go down, get planted, and then get taken out.
Martinez is up. I've got to think, though, that his time tonight is coming close to an end. There's no reason
makes
not
no
to. On the pitch now. Make your first
to walk off under his own power, but you're right. 3-0, game's in hand. Why take any chances?
So he'll come off. No substitution yet, but I do believe that they are going to get someone up, and Coach Echeverry will pull the trigger here momentarily. There's just no sense in continuing on with that.
And just as you say that, he walks back.
He walks back on, right, exactly.
The broadcaster's curse. Barnby trying to send it forward, headed out by Samuels. Samuels did not start a week ago in that game against Los Dos. Solid performance here tonight. And there's Martinez, even putting a foot on the ball. Might just be enough to get someone warmed up and ready to go in his place. Martinez. And here is where RGV can really start to learn what kind of team they are in learning how to close out games and take the air out of the ball.
This is a good learning experience now for this group of youngsters. Gerson Echeverry, it's what he has been trying to develop here at RGV. Certainly the background, being the head coach at Seton Hall, development is a big part of how Coach Echeverry has made a name for himself in coaching circles domestically from a soccer standpoint. And RGV is one of the more similar clubs in the USL to what a college team would be. There is a lot of youth on this club.
Restrepo sending it through, and that will be ushered out. What Coach Echeverry does is he takes talented players and makes them good professionals.
And he developed that reputation at Seton Hall, and of course one of his subjects was Kai Green, who now is starring in the back line for San Antonio, but played for him here at RGV. But there's a lot to learn from Coach Echeverry, but look at this carom.
Yeah, right into the feet of Guzman. And just nowhere to go.
No runs.
All bunkered in. Gomez sending it through. Adams putting a foot on it. Lahoud will punch it out for Restrepo. Restrepo will have to play towards the line and carry it through, sliding it in. Perano. And that right into the awaiting hands of Nelson. Not a lot on that one. And Jamison, it was almost like what do I do?
Yeah, he hesitated. And I do believe that threw him off balance just enough for him not to get enough of a toe on the ball and sent it right into the awaiting hands of Michael Nelson.
Found himself in a position where he knew he had to take the shot, but wasn't really positioned to take a shot. Didn't plant that left foot to sweep through on the right. Here's Guzman, opportunity to score.
And he does.
And that's exactly what he does. 70th minute. The guy who is the leading scorer for this club, who has been virtually silent throughout the game, is deadly when he has the opportunity. 3-1 RGV.
That's his 5th South Texas Derby goal all time. As we discussed way back in the open of this broadcast, he has owned RGV, and that continues. There is a vertical run. This was all set up, though, by outstanding movement with the ball from Michael Lahoud, and that delivery was excellent, and it leads to the goal, and now we see what RGV is made of. The first time they faced adversity tonight.
And the man coming out will be Cabrera, the 18-year-old, who has had really an outstanding game. So Dunwell is coming in for Cabrera. Just completely blows holes in your theory that the next man out was Martinez.
Yep. Well, let's keep focusing on that, Bruce. Yeah, but Dunwell will come in now, and Dunwell, a midfielder out of Grand Rapids, Michigan, gives them a little bit more stability now defensively. He can join the attack, but also gives them a big body back there to try and settle down after giving up that first goal tonight.
Samuels dancing around with it, sending it forward. All kinds of running room. Holding up to get the pass was Enrique.
Salazar didn't see Foster.
And here's Martinez, kind of whiffed on it just enough. Enriquez couldn't get there fast enough. Cardone pounced on it.
That was the right idea. Salazar had Foster to his right, making a run down that far touchline, just didn't see him and played it across the field.
Jamison, little give and go to Restrepo. Adams maybe got away with one in the mouth of the 18 there.
San Antonio's looking dangerous really consistently for the first time right now. They have that goal that came out of really nothing, and RGV a little bit back on their heels now. It has really taken to this point to see them look a little bit vulnerable, but I think it's fair to say they do look a little bit dinged right now.
Well, I think it's a combination of a couple things. Number one, that double substitution that saw Restrepo and Jamison come in. A little bit more oomph in your step.
Some fresh legs, absolutely.
And then you also have RGV bunkered in a little bit. Up 3-0, knowing that they just need to run out the clock, conserve some energy. They haven't been going forward as much. They have had their opportunities and they've taken them. But for the most part, it's a lot more station-to-station, possession-oriented football by Echeverry and company than it is the way that they built that 3-0 lead.
7 days ago, RGV never looked comfortable trying to put that game away against Los Dos. They don't look comfortable trying to put it away here either. That's
Enriquez.
not their game.
And that was done well. Martinez, back to Enriquez. Coronado. And Dunwell. Gathered in by Foster and gathered in well. But now San Antonio has Dunwell just slowing things up a little bit. And that's not even necessary. Dunwell just checked into the game. You're in the middle of the pitch. There is no reason to pull back a player. That's just one of those cards that down the road you look at accumulation. You circle the San Antonio game and say, why'd you do that?
Yeah, that was needless. And this is right now a little bit flat-footed from RGV. RGV just, it's not their style to try and milk clock, to try and sit back and just protect goal. And now we have a discussion here between Lahoud and our official.
And this is what Mike Lahoud does very, very well. He has the conversations with the referees that just plant seeds. He is, as Nelson snatches it out of the air, he's the type of manager that you want on the pitch. He, in my opinion, whenever I've seen him with the captain's badge, regardless of who he's playing for, he is the captain, he is the leader, but he's the manager on the pitch. And sometimes,
there was
Nelson and Jamison.
Yeah, Jamison
tangled up, and Jamison probably lucky not to be in the book at this point.
He had studs up there in that collision. He went feet first into Nelson, the keeper, and Nelson helicoptered himself, immediately feeling pain.
Yeah, Pirano with the pass, and then Jamison running right over Adams. So almost 2 times that you could hand out a card. Going back to the point about Lahoud, that conversation that Lahoud just had with Radchuk may be the reason why a card was not handed out. That's what Mike Lahoud does. That's that football IQ that I'm talking about. You know, in basketball, and you see how torn up this pitch is. In basketball, you see coaches working the referees all game long.
Constantly.
You see it in football, just working the ear of that near line referee. And that's what Mike Lahoud does. And he does it with a smile on his face, so it's quite charming.
Well, they're throwing the attacking third here for San Antonio. RGV just looks a bit out of sorts, a little bit ragged right now.
Well, I think they exerted a lot of effort early on to especially get those 3 goals. And now San Antonio feeling a little bit more impressed with themselves and feeling that, hey, you know, we got that goal, we can get another one. And this is a team that we know a week ago couldn't hold the lead. So let's work on getting another goal. What RGV is doing is they're bunkered in, and they're allowing San Antonio to dictate the pace. That was not something that they allowed earlier. Barnaby, and that's knocked away. And then Kai can't get there, and here's an opportunity as Coronado is still on his feet as much as Barnaby wanted to dispossess him. Oh, just past Enriquez's feet. But that's the type of play. RGV just needs to do that every once in a while. They need to keep San Antonio honest. They haven't done that in a while.
I love that Barnaby tries to make a tackle from behind on Coronado. Coronado, instead of trying to hit the deck and draw the card on that challenge, just keeps trucking. I absolutely love that. And the ball was a good ball forward. It just approached on a short hop, and here's a substitution. Gallegos is going to come in now for San Antonio FC.
And out comes Mike LaHood.
Jose Gallegos, a midfielder, 5'6", 160 pounds. And LaHood does come off after lobbying the referee just moments ago.
Solid effort out of LaHood. So Gallegos will take us the rest of the way. Comes in the 78th. And that is the final substitution of the evening for Darren Powell. 2 remaining for Echeverry. Jamison. Gallegos, first touches. Dispossessed. RGV. And they need a build-up right here.
They do. They look so much more comfortable doing this as opposed to throwing everybody back.
Salazar, the 26-year-old, pulling up the brakes. Spent time, a lot of time, playing in Canada with the Montreal Impact and Ottawa Fury. And he has 10 caps with his natives Belize. Flag goes up. As Green starts us up. Barnaby sending it out wide. Restrepo. Just enough room to maneuver. Guzman. Guzman from distance. And well off the mark. And Malik Foster's evening is done.
Nico Lemoyne, the native of Livermore, California, entering this match now for RGV. And Foster, another job well done tonight for RGV.
He was a great running partner with Salazar. They teamed up so incredibly well. Enriquez gave them something different. Enriquez was more of the spot man. He went to a spot and he waited for the ball. But the way that Foster and Salazar ran together throughout the game was really something special to watch. And he put in a solid 80-minute shift.
Yeah, Salazar and Foster are pretty dynamic on that right side. They truly are. And here's a foul. And RGV will have a free kick. There's Akon, who got a little bit too physical from behind, and there is the aforementioned Salazar, who took the hit.
So Ratchuk will put the Barbasol down as Salazar seems to really be shaken up.
Also not a bad thing to take some time off the clock either.
And they're going to call in the training group. So that gives me an opportunity to tell you, tune in to ESPN News on Wednesday, June 5th for Wednesday night soccer when OKC Energy travels to Albuquerque to face the current Western Conference leaders, New Mexico United. How about that? The expansion team leading everyone out west. It's the week's best match on Wednesday night, June 5th on ESPN News.
And if you haven't seen New Mexico United yet this year, especially as an expansion team, they are worth the price of admission or worth the time it takes you to watch on ESPN News, because they will get after you. They are relentless in the attack. It's a young group. They've been well constructed, put together, and it looks like they are in the driver's seat right now, leading Austin Bold 2-1 in the 84th minute, looking for points 22, 23, and 24 on the year in the Western Conference table.
Salazar will exit the game momentarily, holding on to his chest, now his back. Got to wonder how much longer Coach Echeverry will let him go with his 2 goals, that brace on the evening with the lone goal he had a week ago in that 2-2 draw against Los Dos.
Well, about 20 minutes after I said Isidro Martinez was going to come off the pitch, he remains on the field.
And he'll take this set piece.
There he is.
Now, if he blasts it into the back of the net, you're going to go crazy. He goes into the box, headed down into the ground by Green. Enriquez goes down, but we play on. Gallegos. Guzman, and he gave it up. Here's Enrique with Adams to his right. Adams. RGV knocking on the door once again. That blast. And it just went high.
That was an electrifying attempt with the left foot from the recent substitution, Lemoyne. More good buildup from RGV. It wasn't the most crisp in distribution in the attacking third, but Lemoyne ended up getting a nice look with his dominant left foot and just over the bar on that near post. Dangerous.
Back to live action, San Antonio. And they haven't been on this side of the pitch in a while. RGV doing a good job of dictating pace. Guzman laying off for Restrepo. Jameson. Barnby. And then he gets impatient and the opportunity is over for San Antonio in the 84th minute.
San Antonio has not been able to hit any of those passes that require touch over the top tonight. And that was not even close for the goal scorer, Ever Guzman.
There was a period in time in this game where I thought San Antonio was really going to put their foot on the gas and really go at this game, see if they could get the second one.
I'm just not sure they're capable of doing the proverbial foot on gas push. They've got such veteran leadership, and we discussed it, but from an offensive attack, from a speed standpoint, I'm just not sure they're capable offensively of controlling a game.
They're more of a finesse team.
I mean, the only game that they've truly dominated all season was a win over a Tacoma squad that can't score a goal, period.
And this is what RGV has been doing in Coronado, who has an assist already on the game. Little give and go, and now Salazar into the box. Can he get the hat trick? He lays off for Enriquez.
I don't think Salazar needed to be as unselfish as he
not that
was.
time.
It wasn't a great angle, but with Salazar and his ability, he certainly could have poked it through Cardoni for his hat trick.
Restrepo. Adams will chest it down. Almost had a hard time clearing it out.
That's well done. Just blast it back, make them construct from the back.
And now sending it forward, Enriquez trying to make things happen all by himself. Salazar. Intercepted. And that was reckless.
Yeah, that
by
absolutely
Martinez.
was. Yarrow just simply lowered his shoulder and steamrolled Martinez. There was going to be contact, but Yarrow anticipated it, and he knew exactly what he was doing, and that's what the referee is telling him right now. There was the shoulder, and the leg came out, and that's a deserved booking.
So Martinez stays in the game, Ken, so he can take that kind of punishment.
Yes, yes. Hey, Coach Echeverry knows his toughness significantly more than me, and that has shown brightly here in the second half. He has put in a massive physical effort. He'll feel it tomorrow.
Switching sides. And now into the 18. Yarrow puts his head on it. Dunwell was chasing. Ball pinballing around, settles down. And now this is the first time an all-out run has taken place in Restrepo, sending Jamison into the box. Adams puts his foot on it, and Donovan will be able to carry it out. And that was really the first complete counter we've seen as the ball goes over the top. Salazar is just going to keep Cardone honest.
That was a desperate cross, though, from Jamison. He could have held it up and tried to pick someone out. He just threw it in front of goal. That's scary. Bit of a divot pulled up there, but it looks like everybody's okay.
And you don't see that very often. Guy basically running out of his shoes.
Wiping out.
Andrew Samuels has been solid in the back. Adams playing catch with Martinez, and so Nelson will kick it high in the air. That will stop play, so we'll start back up. It will belong to RGV. And I think Salazar has hit his limit today.
Yeah.
Fans, the USL unveiled its elite youth platform, USL Academy. This allows clubs at all levels across USL to develop its local youth and compete at the highest level across the United States, including USL Academy Cup. For more information, visit uslsoccer.com/academy. So Salazar will take the slow stroll down the pitch. Exits with 2 goals at 36 and 58. 3 in his last few games. And Mr. Small will come in for him.
Carlos Small, the Panamanian, the forward, 6', 187. He'll play the remaining minute and whatever change we have.
But what a performance by Salazar this evening. 2 goals, but leading the attack on so many more. Great vision, and really had a wonderful night teaming up with Malik Foster. The two of them, great running mates. Those two guys are like, when you hear about people training for marathons and they run together, that's what you saw out of Foster and Salazar.
They just make each other better, and there's a communication, there's a cohesiveness between the two that they've developed, and Salazar has definitely made his case to be the USL Player of the Week.
And I think there would be, I mean, we're not sure what else is happening around the league at the moment, but barring somebody putting up a hat trick or a haul, it would be a good bet that Michael Salazar will at least be in strong consideration. 5 minutes of added time for your viewing pleasure, so you get 5 more minutes of Ken and myself. And San Antonio will have to really pull a rabbit out of the hat if they want to get anywhere close to a draw on this one. Barnby. Gallegos. Restrepo, and back to Barnby. San Antonio is going to have to get really creative here too, because the defense in that box right now is just solid. Not a lot of room to run, not a lot of passing lanes. And basically what RGV is doing right now is just daring them from beat us from distance.
New Mexico United has tacked on another goal. It is 3-1 over Austin Bold in the 94th minute in that one. So Austin Bold is going to be leapfrogged in the standings by RGV.
What a save by Nelson. Cleared out by Dunwell. Outstandingly read. Nelson just coming out of his office and knocking it away.
Wow, what a denial of Pirano. We could have had some very tense moments for RGV, a bit of deja vu after last week, and instead, Nelson up to the task, and they clear down the pitch. What a point-blank clutch save from young Nelson.
Quickly sent forward. Nelson catching it like he's playing center field for the Texas Rangers.
Man, did he hang in there. He cut off the distance between himself and Pirano. That was textbook keeping right there.
Let me go back and correct myself because it should have been the Houston Astros.
Come on, Bruce.
So disappointed in myself. Green, right foot, over the top, into the awaiting hands of the center fielder for the Houston Astros, Michael Nelson.
I'm not sure Adams meant to do that. It looked like his heart skipped a beat as that ball went backwards off his head, but Nelson, who's been very, very good tonight. After we saw Corti really struggle against Los Dos on Saturday, Nelson has come in there and brought a semblance of consistency to that position tonight between the pipes.
Whistle behind the play. Barnby got tangled up. Time really running out. We're 3 in on the 5 and a card being handed out. Believe that went to Small. Oh, check it. It went to Lemoyne. That at 94. San Antonio, they're throwing the kitchen sink at RGV. But really, at this point, you're down by 2. You're taking a lot of time to try to get shots off. You're just running out of time. That one misplayed a little bit. Adams comes in, tries to, and you look at the divot.
Yeah, and he definitely was hobbled by that. He lost his footing. And Adams, who has been so strong.
Look at his foot race. Akon cutting off Small. But now we've got 1 minute of added time. 1 minute for RGV to close this game out. And Samuels will kick it into the stands. San Antonio still fighting. Still going forward. Yarrow, Restrepo at the elbow, slotting that pass, and Adams sacrificing his body as Pirano was trying to beat Nelson. Adams, who was really quiet in the first half, has done incredible shift.
Yep, he has been a rock tonight for RGV in the back. He really has. He has earned all of the praise he'll get at the conclusion of this one.
They go short. Adams out of New Zealand. Donovan lunging with his head. We are now in borrowed time as we are past 95. Nelson, and he'll fall on it, and that'll do it. RGV closes out a 3-1 performance. They jumped up 3-0. Goals by Salazar, Enriquez, and Salazar once again. And the lone goal by Ever Guzman, who adds to his total as the leading goal scorer, not only in this derby, but also for San Antonio FC. We're going to jump out, take a break. When we come back, we will have highlights and stats and all kinds of fun stuff. So don't go away. Toros beat San Antonio 3-1 here on ESPN+.
The more we are together with nature, the more we are together, the better we'll be. There's forests and rivers, mountains and valleys. The more we are together, the better
35 years, Lone Star National Bank has grown along with our customers. Together, we have helped transform South Texas, raised families, and planted roots to create opportunities that benefit not the few, but the many. To plan and build for a better tomorrow, to imagine what is possible. That is how you build strong communities and the strong bank, one generation at a time. For 35 years, Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
Welcome to your hometown Whataburger. Customization is what we've always done. We have mustard, mayo, ketchup. It's all up to you.
When you customize your own burger, you can put your personality in it.
Manny's ketchup, no cheese. This is my Whataburger.
We customize orders 24 hours a day.
Everybody wants it just like they like it. When you can make it your own, that always enhances that experience for you.
They're just happy to do whatever makes you happy.
However you want it, I got you. Here at Whataburger, we make it just like you like it, whenever you like it.
Welcome back to HEB. Rio, Grand Valley 3, San Antonio 1. I'm Bruce Silver along with Ken LaVicka. And Ken, this was the game that we thought RGV was going to have a week ago. They made the adjustments, closed out the match, got the win, and it was decisive.
Well, they built off of the 50 minutes or so that we saw from them last week, where it was fluid and excellent. And tonight, most of the 90 and change was fluid and excellent. There's the opening goal of this match from Enriquez. And you raved about the control, the patience from Coronado on that delivery. And it was an excellent play.
Every time I've seen this replay, I think that Coronado is going to serve the ball up in the air, but instead he keeps it on the ground, gets it to Enriquez, and at 30, it's 1-0. But they weren't done.
Nope, 6 minutes later, look at that ball through, and then Salazar, who we'll talk about in just a few moments again as well. Nice and easy with the right foot. He is right now just in a groove offensively. What a great ball that was. Good first touch. Salazar back in net.
So go to the locker room 2-0. Salazar with 2 goals in as many games. Martinez takes his rip. And Martinez stayed in the game the entire time.
He
just pointing out to you.
did.
And here, great individual effort. Foster, Salazar, back of the net. He's got his brace. Foster and Salazar just ran together so incredibly well all night. But what patience by Salazar. He's just waiting for the open net, get it to the right foot, and make sure you bury it. Coach Echeverry, so incredibly happy because he was frustrated a week ago.
Absolutely.
They had the points. They were up 2-1, gave up the late goal. Guzman won't be denied. He finds the angle, beats Adams. That was about the only thing that Adams didn't do well this night.
Completely agree. He was so solid tonight. Guzman, we know what type of talent he is and what quality of player he is. That is a great goal right there, but that was one of the few moments of greatness for San Antonio tonight. Salazar, thank you, sir. Much appreciated that little peck because, man, he was really, really good. And you look at the numbers here. Possession, the only number in favor of San Antonio. This was a decisive win. Look at the percentage. RGV, 11 shots, 3 goals, 5 on target. That's better than we've seen from them in a month.
Yeah, and on the other side, 13 shots for San Antonio, but only 5 on target, only 1 find the back of the net. Great performance by Echeverry and company. This was the type of match that they wanted to put together. This is what they wanted to do. This is what they wanted to accomplish. And now they put themselves back. Right now, technically, they're probably, I believe, yes, above the Mendoza line.
In real time.
And we'll see how it shakes out by the end of the night. But right now, above that number 10 position. So congratulations to them. Great night all the way around. Thanks for being with us. Want to thank everybody with USL Championship, everybody in the control. For Ken LaVicka, I'm Bruce Silverman. Thanks for being with us here on ESPN+. Toros over San Antonio, 3-1. Good night.
This copyrighted. This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.